Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another video today. It is Wednesday, middle of the trading week, and overall good week, and overall good day so far, because we had a little bit of a scare yesterday because of some tweets that got sent out, but we rebounded nicely in pre-market, and looking at the heat map here, rebounded nicely as well. Overall, a lot of green on the board. Big tech, again, kind of carrying the day with Microsoft, Apple, and really Amazon that's up 3%. But story of the day, semiconductor sector is having a good day today. AMD up 2.6%, Nvidia up about 1.7%, the Honey Badger, Micron up 2.3%. So all the semi stocks are green today, which is what I like to see. And the other thing that I'm most excited about is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, AMD is going to have their new Zen 3 launch party, or I should say their launch event. And so I'm going to be watching the market like a hawk tomorrow, because let's take a look at AMD already. So today, and you know, I will admit I got a little bit greedy this morning and I didn't jump in when I should have, because I could have been able to scalp some money, some taco money, pay for dinner for tonight and tomorrow maybe. I did miss out on Taco Tuesday last night. I was trying to make up for it today. But you can see we opened up pre-market on AMD already up 1.8%. And as soon as the market opened, we just took off like a rocket to the moon. I mean, for the next half an hour up until 10 a.m., we went up to almost 3.8%. And I was watching this and I thought, you know what? There's no way AMD can sustain all this bullish momentum that just happened pre-market and within 30 minutes. There has to be a little bit of a sell-off. So I thought, you know what? Let me open up some covered calls, and what I can do is when the market does kind of correct itself a little bit intraday, I can buy those options back to close the positions out and scalp a little bit of premium. And you know, I just was holding a little bit too long. My finger was getting itchy. I wanted to left click and click send, but I just kept trying to squeeze out a little bit more, and it came out to basically bite me in the end, because at about 9:55 a.m., I was looking at the 90 strike option. Let's go to the options chain here. Part of the reason was, yes, I was being greedy, but also I couldn't decide what strike I wanted to choose, because I also wanted to make sure that my shares did not get called away in case AMD kept rallying. So I was looking at a weekly option for this Friday, so October 9th. And at the time, if we go back to the chart here, you can see back around almost right before 10 a.m., AMD was trading at about $87 and some change, very close to $88. So I was looking at the options chain and I said to myself, all right, where can I collect good premium? But also, if I want to try and scalp some money, I can't pick a strike that's too high out of the money, because if I picked a strike for my selling a covered call that was, let's say, like $100, right? I would only initially collect like $3 in premium. And then even if the share price does go down, this is going to go down to what? Like $2, so I'll make $1, right? That's not really much of a scalp. I can't even buy a taco with that money. So I needed to pick a strike that was close enough to the money where I could scalp good premium, but not so close where I would be in the money and then, you know, have a concern of my shares getting called away. So I decided the 90 strike was a good price, because like I said, it was trading at 88. At the time, I could have sold a 90 strike covered call for $75 in premium. As you can see, we did sell off. If I go back to the trading chart here, throughout the rest of the day from 10 a.m., we sold off all the way until about lunchtime, and then we pretty much traded flat the whole day. So if I go back to the options chain, you can see, you probably just got a sneak peek, that same 90 strike covered call is now trading for $53. So if I was smart enough to get in at 10 a.m., $75, which is what I would have sold it for ideally, minus $53 of what I would have bought it back for, I would have been able to scalp $22 per contract. I have the ability to sell 2 contracts. So I had the potential to make $44 this week, but I just got a little bit too greedy. I spent too much time thinking about it, and while I was thinking about it, basically the opportunity passed me by. So lesson learned, you know. But then again, you could also say if I wasn't so greedy, and let's say I got in at a lower premium, like $60, well then I would have only been able to scalp like $7. Still would have bought me a taco or two, but you know, you got to take what you can get. there's always another trade. So I try not to sweat the small stuff and just try to leave this in the past and look to the future, because I think it's still going to work out overall in my favor. Because like I said, AMD was green all day today. We closed 2.7% up in the green. And I think tomorrow in the morning, kind of when this hype builds even more for this launch event in the afternoon, I think AMD is going to again open up green, slowly increase all day long until at least noontime. And then it's really going to be 50-50, because I could say, you know what, let me open up the covered call before the launch event, right? Because buy the rumor, sell the news. I don't want AMD to sell off once the launch event starts or once they unveil the new Zen 3 chipset, which is probably what's going to happen in my opinion, because something similar happened to NVIDIA's launch event about a month ago. But if they release Zen 3 and the specs and it just absolutely blows Intel out of the water, well then it might even soar even higher during the launch event. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to keep a close eye on AMD, especially right around noon and 1 o'clock when the conference is going to start. But I most likely will be selling a covered call tomorrow, and I'm most likely going to be selling it for the following Friday, October 16th, because if I tried to sell it for this coming Friday, it would only be about a day and a half's expiration, and the premiums just probably are not going to be that good. But if I take a look at this, selling some covered calls, you know, like I said, I want to hold my shares for at least this month, because I think, again, we're going to have another catalyst at the end of the month with earnings coming up and also their GPU launch event. So, I mean, if tomorrow, if AMD right before the event starts can get up to like 88, 89, I'll probably sell a covered call at least at $94, because that's AMD's all-time highs. So let's go to the TradingView chart here. And you know, the other thing that I'm kind of kicking myself over is if you look at this intraday candle here and then the wick, and this is at 10 a.m., basically got right to my level of resistance at a little over $87. So I didn't even trust my own technical analysis. If I had faith in my own TA, I would have known that AMD wasn't going to break above 87, and I should have sold my covered calls right there in the morning to scalp premium. But lesson learned, you know, I got to learn to trust my own DD, I guess. But we'll have to wait and see. You know, the other thing is I drew this trend line here on AMD because ever since about a week ago, we've been trending overall up. You can see from September 2nd to about September 23rd, the whole month of September, we were on a downtrend. But we really broke that starting on September 24th, and now we're on an uptrend. You can see it's like a staircase. Every day, we're setting higher and higher lows. Yes, we had a little bit of a sell-off on Friday, but we promptly brought it back on October 5th. The other interesting thing I've noted the past few trading days is whenever the candles are very small, meaning they're not very tall, meaning there wasn't a lot of price action between where we opened and where we closed, like here on September 28th and here on September 30th, the next day we have very good price action. So see, it was a small candle, next day, big candle. Small candle, next day, big candle. So we had a small candle today. So I'm hoping that tomorrow, in combination with the catalyst of the launch event, we're going to have another big candle. I think if we break above $88, then the sky's the limit. The next area of resistance is going to be 94 because that's where the all-time high was on September 2nd. So I think if I can sell a covered call at least at like 94, 95, it's going to take a lot of, extra oomph for AMD to be setting all-time highs in about a trading week. I mean, Zen 3 has to be an absolute game changer if it's going to keep setting all-time highs. But even if I sell a strike of 95 and AMD hits, my cost basis or my shares were assigned at $85 per share. So that would be a stock appreciation of $10 per share. I owned 200 shares, so I would make $2,000 in stock appreciation in addition to whatever premium I would collect selling those covered calls. So I am really excited about that. I'm very nervous, and it's a good type of nervous to see what happens tomorrow on AMD. But that's my trading plan for tomorrow. Out of curiosity, let's just take a look at Space just to see how it's doing, because I sold off my shares because my options got exercised last Friday, and Space has continued to trade in the 21s, which tells me I've left a little bit of money on the table because I sold my shares away at 20 and the other half at $20.50. So right now it's about $21.50. No big deal. I want to be cash right now. So my overall game plan is to get as much premium and stock appreciation on AMD I can this month, and then cash out right before the election, because I want to be cash. I don't know what's going to happen with the election. I don't know if the market's going to sell off depending on who wins, but I want to not end up bag holding shares. And the only way to do that, and the only way to guarantee that, is to just be cash. And I mean, along the way, since I freed up some capital by selling off my space shares, I could dabble in some more cash good puts, maybe sell one or two here and there on space. And that way, if they do get assigned, it's not a big portion of my portfolio. But right now, AMD is occupying a good chunk of my portfolio, so I certainly don't want to end up bag holding AMD for a long time if the market decides to, again, kind of crash or dip again. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. Overall, there's been some bullish movements in space. You can see, again, from September 24th to now, the trend is overall up and to the right, which is what we like to see. We stayed above this area of resistance at about $20.60 for the past 3 days now. So that makes me feel better about confirmation. The next area of resistance, it's tough to identify because there's not a lot of price data there. But if I had to guess, I think it's going to be somewhere here around about $24. You can see there's some wicks and some candles there. There's some wicks and candles here back in March and early February of this year. So I think right now the next area of resistance is going to be somewhere between low 24s and mid $24. But we have some room to run. We have $3. There also is this Fibonacci level here at about $23. So space certainly has some room to run right now. We'll have to see where it goes. But that was my trading day for today. I can't wait to make my video for tomorrow because I'm really excited. Hopefully, I'll get to tell you about the great options I've traded and the huge potential premium and stock appreciation I should collect if AMD gets to whatever strike I sell it at. But we'll just have to wait and see. Tune in next time. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And happy trading.